And we are live. What do we got here? We got birthdays, right? Peculiar birthdays. And here, let's get a better background. There we go. Poor Donnie. Donnie has got himself in a pickle. And we're going to talk about it. But we're also out here working, so we're gonna have to cut things short if we get an order. Currently sitting in the parking lot of a closed down restaurant. So there's that. If you're just tuning in, this is Joey Farr live during wartime, season 1, episode 14, and it's also the Trump's third impeachment watch party, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to use the stars, and we're going to try to predict the date in which people in our government are going to move to remove him from office. And there's going to be some bombshell reports coming out soon, guys. And these bombshell reports are going to detail a specific timeline of events and relations and words from their own mouths of Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, and laying out and detailing Donald Trump's long relationship with Russian oligarchs. And this is very crucial right now because we are dealing with World War III on the brink. And we have a waffle of a leader who is beholden to interests that are not in our best interest. And so either we're being governed by Putin and his agenda right now, or Trump is going to quit being a pussy. Okay? It's plain and simple. Trump is going to have to quit being a pussy. And he's going to have to take a hard stance on Putin, or face being removed from office. Because this is not the time nor the place in a historical context to not know where you're going to stand. And we have this other issue on the horizon with Alex Karp and Peter Thiel and the defense contract situation with Palantir. Guys, this is worrisome. Because what happens if that technology gets in the wrong hands? What are the right and wrong hands at this point? But, when Trump got busted with all them files in his bathroom, let me explain to you something, how intelligence works. Let's say Trump wasn't handing those documents directly to Putin, but let's say he was leaving them in a place where somebody who was a human intelligence agent working for Putin and working for Trump simultaneously would have time to, at least go in there and comb over them. And nobody would have to know about it, right? And, so we can just safely assume that Donald Trump's been just handing intelligence to Russia for quite some time now. And, there's just so much going on that it's just so hard to keep track of, right? No, it's not, guys. It's not. You just gotta keep your eye on the ball. But you gotta know what the ball is in the first place, right? What is the ball? Show me the ball. And we're gonna get to the ball. We are gonna get to the ball. But first, guys, we're gonna talk about banana awareness. And You know, when are we gonna do something about this? Like, no person in their right mind would have more than one or two bananas on their persons at any given point in time, right? You know, and I think we should do RFID chip bananas and make all banana owners be registered banana owners. Because bananas are dangerous. Clearly, they're dangerous. They're just as dangerous as a forbidden fruit as a topic, right? Anyway, when are lawmakers going to do something about these goddamn bananas? I'll tell you. You know, it's crazy that you can just go out and buy as many bananas as you want, and you don't even have to show ID. You don't even have to, you know, you don't have to pass a background check, nothing. You can buy as many pounds and pounds of bananas as you want. And Trump knows this. Putin knows this. We all know this. You know, something to point out is China has Walmart, but Russia does not. What that tells me is that China wants to save money and live better, where Russia does not. Russia does not care about saving money or living better with everyday low prices. But, you know, Trump went to Canada for the G7 summit and embarrassed us all. And if you weren't embarrassed by that, then you're not paying attention. But, you know, I don't think the guy speaking before Trump had nothing but nice things to say about the United States and how crucial it is for our partnership to be involved. And then Trump gets up there and says, you know, yeah, this is great, but you know, it used to be the G8 and it's the G7, and where, you know, it'd be better if Putin were here to negotiate, and it sounded really bad. It made us look very weak, and it really, if I were another nation trying to weigh in, I would be rather alarmed right now. For Trump to not be strong on Putin and condemn Putin is for Trump to be weak as shit for America. I hate to tell you guys this, but he is not making this country great again. He's making us look terrible. And you're just gonna have to face the music. If, you know, the psyops train is over. Like, whatever QAnon, 4chan, idiot corner of the internet you Trump supporters have been on, maybe Truth Social, who knows. You gotta pull your head out of your ass and get out of that echo chamber real fast, dude. Your country needs you, and we need people to wake the hell up, right? This is Trump. He was caught at Walmart saving money and living better. He didn't want people to know. Let's see. You know, Slick Willie and Barack Obama. Let's talk about Slick Willie and Barack Obama, if we will. We never had to guess where they stood when it came to Israel and when it came to Iraq. Hold on. You can say what you will about their leadership, but I feel like they did a pretty good job at having a strong stance. Something that people want to forget about is that before COVID became a big deal, we had a situation with where Trump was trying to attack Iran, and most of the pretext behind it was to not only fall into line with an accelerationist agenda, but it was to to distract everyone from the impeachment, impending first impeachment. And why was Trump being impeached? Can anyone in the comments remember? Oh, was it because of a phone call he made to President Zelensky over Ukraine? So, dude, we got a waffle for president, and it's making us look really bad. Like, and nobody's going to take us seriously until we get rid of him. And he probably needs to be tried for war crimes or something, or investigated thoroughly instead of this whole thing where we just let him be convicted of felonies and be like, it don't matter anymore, right? Because that's setting a bad example for our children, and you're setting up a precedent in which people like me can run for office because shit, you know, my criminal record ain't nothing compared to Trump's. And so let that be a inspiration for felons everywhere, right? It doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't matter anymore. You could be a felony. You could be a felon and be a president. You could be a felon, 32 counts of federal crimes, and still somehow get elected president. Amazing. Amazing. Anyway, do you guys ever think that Melania is like some powerful Russian witch slash Crimea or Kremlin handler for Trump? Let me know in the comments. Is Melania Trump a powerful Russian witch slash intelligence handler for Donald Trump? Styling. Just a regular day of Trump and Obama enjoying a beautiful sunset. You know it happened. It's on the internet. You see it with your own eyes. If anything, discernment, right? Discernment when it comes to this AI stuff. We need to start looking at everything and be like, is this person a bot? Is this AI? Is this fake? Is this being generated? And maybe we could have a signal and a code for each other to tell each other we're real. Here in the future, because it's not hard to just generate content anymore. But I like to have fun with the AI and make it do silly pictures, right? Nobody else out there is making these pictures like this. Like, is that not harmonious? Does that not just unify America right there? I feel good about it. I feel like Trump, had a meeting with Obama, and they finally see eye to eye on things, and they're going to be tough on Putin together. But anyway, if Trump, changes the laws to where presidents can run for third terms, wouldn't that be cool? Because I will vote for Obama so fast. Fuck yeah, dude. Obama follows me on Twitter. Why wouldn't I? Trump doesn't follow me on Twitter. And that's on Trump, right? He's allowed to not follow me on Twitter. Maybe he can't. Maybe I blocked him. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't ever get on Twitter. You know why? Elon Musk owns it. I got on TikTok, but I don't like TikTok, right? But I figured I could just take the things I'm posting on YouTube and just slide them over there. And if the Chinese agree with it, they'll push it out there, right? They'll be like, "Fuck yeah, just preach." I'm gonna read some comments. Why would he want to? I don't know what you're referring to because we've moved on. But yeah, Barry and Donald should hang out, right? They should go play some golf together. I think that Donald Trump does not seek previous. Donald Trump doesn't seek the counsel of his previous predecessors enough. He should be on the phone with Bill Clinton. He should be on the phone with George W. Bush, and he should be on the phone with Barack Obama right now, asking them, guys, what the fuck should I do? And then he should take and compile their candid advice and then go from there, and then take whatever part of him that is beholden to Vladimir Putin, and just flush it, right? Get rid of it, burn it, and hope that the Russians don't come after you, right? Which they will eventually. I don't see how this ends well for Donnie ever in any circumstance. Like, he's riding it on the top right now, but like, this is such an unlikely circumstance we're dealing with right here that you really would need massive psyops teams of specially trained agents and capabilities. And of course the Russians are out there using AI and using whatever they have to create more and more content, because dude, I hear people parrot Russian propaganda quite often. And you can always, like, dude, if anybody starts trying to talk to you about flat Earth or Tartarian history, like, just shut it down. Shut it down. Or, or get on, hop on that short bus and take a ride with them, whatever. I don't know, man. But you're on the short bus when you got friends that are talking to you about that. And speaking of friends that talk to you about weird things, like, I had a good friend who was employed by Microsoft, nonetheless, right? And he was, I want to say, a pretty important programmer for Microsoft, developer. And yeah, one day I'm just talking to him, and he's like, "Man, what do you think about the moon landing? What do you think about?" And he starts trying to drop flat Earth theory. I mean, I'm like, God dang, man, this is crazy. I thought you were smart. Anyways, guys, if you get high enough, you can see the curvature of the Earth. Plain and simple. You just got to get high enough. Hold on. Oh, poor baby Donald. He's so sad that his buddy Vladimir wasn't at the G7 party. And then he goes on to blame Trudeau and Obama, which I think people pointed out that Trudeau was even around, or the prime minister, when that happened. That's another thing, man. That guy, like, I know I'm dumb, but I have to be smarter than him, right? Because he seems void of historical context. And most of his voting base, like, seems to have forgotten that what happened in the 90s with Soviet Union. And they seem to be just totally fine. They like a lot of them will praise Vladimir Putin, and that's that's what I'm talking about with the Russian propaganda. You know, dude has been in office for 25 years now. It's it's time to, I don't know, like, are the Russian people okay with that? I don't think they are, but we'll never know, right? Russia's just like North Korea. It's just bigger and meaner, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. You know, are the potatoes any better in Russia than they are here? Uh, um, what's the water like in Russia? Is it clean drinking water? Would you trust the water out of the faucet, or would you be worried that it's, you know, dirty or full of chemicals or fluoride? Or what do you think? You know, how do you feel about fluoride? They put it in water here, and they try to tell you it's for your teeth. In no way of drinking fluoridated water. How is that going to help your teeth? So that's a weird claim. You know, I mean, I guess if you gargle fluoridated water, it might help. Maybe, I don't know, but I think it's toothpaste. And I think people underestimate the power of toothbrushes and toothpaste, because if you look at, you know, life expectancy in human beings, it's toothbrush could be attributed to the rise. And a lot of illnesses can be linked to dental problems, and it's kind of fucked up that most insurance doesn't cover dental like as the primary source of healthcare. And we could speculate all day as to why that is, but it's fucked up nonetheless. Like, dental insurance is one of the more expensive things, and yeah, dental health can affect your heart health. It can affect your bone structure. It's just, yeah, it's pretty crucial. Uh, and that's why I'd vote for Bourbon Supreme over Donald Trump, right? At least he's out there advocating fighting cavities, brushing your teeth. And I don't know what the pony economy would entail, but I'm 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 open for anything at this point, right? And yeah, the dollar is worthless, guys. It's worthless. It's not doing very well. It's not that things are more expensive. It's just that your money is buying less. I want to take a moment to remind everyone, like, please be sure to like and subscribe if you're even if you hate this content, right? You know, that way you can come back and say more mean things to me. But if you like it, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But it's a variety show, and we'll talk about a number of things. We could be talking about politics. We could be talking about music. We could be talking about baseball cards. It's just, you know, this is just my channel. So uh, right now I'm sitting in a parking lot, smoking cigarettes, just kind of waiting for a decent order, um, making the best of my time. And I'm out here throwing bananas, right? What kind of bananas? Well, hold on. Let me see. Banana, banana, banana. Well, that's not those kinds of bananas. Whoops. Whoopsie. Let's see. What kind of bananas? Right. Oh no. Walmart security. They wouldn't let me use the photo I was looking for some reason. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Yep. Bananas from Walmart. And they've been marked up. But they're ripe. So I need to either consume them or discard them. What would you do if you had 7 bananas? There's a lot of swampy areas. And I love that Donald Trump used the word swamp so much that it's almost like a Trump supporter dog whistle at this point. And so when you say anything about swamps, they're like, yeah, drain it. Drain it. Trump is the swamp, guys. Trump is the swamp. Proves to me beyond a reason. Hold on. One, that Vladimir Putin has not intricately involved themselves via proxy in the conflict with Israel. Like, the question, where did Iran get all those fancy missiles that are, getting past the Iron Dome, I guess. And we know where. And that's what makes that G7 summit so tough, right? Vladimir Putin has definitely involved themselves. I think it's strange that China and Russia are both telling their citizens that they should leave Israel, where everyone else is telling everyone to get the fuck out of Iran, leave Tehran. And that's, I guess, that's the humane thing to do is you think shit's about to hit the fan and it's going to be very bloody and violent, then you fair warn people, I guess. I guess that's in the UN rule book. So that's it's just troubling that we have a president that's not willing to be a little more vocal with condemnation for the person who apparently he is beholden to, right? So anyway, I just saw a news thing related to Putin. I'm going to look at it. Hold on. Oh, no, it wasn't related to Putin. It was related to something else. Anyway, notifications. That's how I keep up with most news, is I just have feed notifications that let me know when the important stuff is happening. But if you've been following me, I've been making some jokes about Vladimir Putin and Russian GRU agents and minions, and that's where this Donald Trump bananas jokes kind of hit a little differently for some, maybe, but there's more to this banana stuff, right? But we're gonna write Putin, Trump on this banana, right? And then we're gonna write some more names. We're gonna write Carp for Alexander Carp, and then we're gonna write Teal for Peter Teal, And then we're going to write Musk. We know who that's for. And so we're going to tie them all together, right? We're going to bind them together on this banana. And then we're going to go put it in a swamp that needs to be drained symbolically. It's semantics, right? Magic is fake. What are you, 12? And I'm going to just go ahead and apologize in advance that if for some reason, hold on, for some reason the laws change and they bring back the Salem witch trials, my bad, guys. I'm trying to earn a living at the same time, and it's not going that well yet, but it will. My time's coming. All right. We're going to roll the cigarette. So, you know, if you can show me where Vladimir Putin has taken a firm stance on Hamas and has shown support for Israel and not helped Iran, I would love to hear all about it, right? But I think you would be fabricating it. It would be a bunch of bullshit that you just had to make up on the spot. So, you know, and there's troubling evidence that suggests that, you know, not only is Trump homeboys with P. Diddy and Epstein, but he's been beholden to Russian oligarchs since before Putin was in power. Financially, ideologically, right? Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, we're going to talk about it for a minute. We're going to talk about it. I mean, sure, everybody's seen the photos of him and Epstein, but these are kind of new to me, right? But they're out there. And everybody's like, well, who cares? He's just taking a picture with somebody. And it's like, man, he sure does take pictures with a lot of questionable people and get involved in a lot of questionable things. And it's like, gaslight me harder, daddy. Shit. Anyway, guys, we're going to World War III, and our president is Twat Waffle, and unsure about how he feels about a lot of things because he feels like he's been caught off guard by Israel and Vladimir Putin, and he's scared because he has two global powers that I guess are more powerful than him, not respecting his Cartman-like authority. What a fucking idiot. Right? What a fucking idiot. And you've got billionaires like Elon Musk and all these people who are just dangling blackmail material over him to get him to fall in line with whatever they want. And so you've just got this man, this ego, this shell of an ego of a human being who happens to be a Gemini, who has got enough room for plenty of people to fucking stick their hand up his ass and puppeteer him and make him do whatever they want, right? That's what they love about Trump, is he's got so much dirt on him that they can control him. It's gross, guys. It's gross. But we'll get through it together as a nation. Let's see. Anyway, don't look at this image for too long. Do not look at this image for too long. It'll start making sense to you. And then you'll have the key to the universe and you won't know what to do with it. right? What are you going to do? You got the key of the universe right here. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to misinterpret it? And then, like, get hurt? That's what most occultists have been doing for thousands of years. So let me know in the comments. Which direction is east? Which direction is south? Mentally speaking, fire is north. Libra is the opposite. See, Libra, that would mean air is south, not water. So if you ever talk to an occultist, point that out to them and tell them that if they think water is south, they're wrong. Because water is east, and earth is west, and air is south. And if you take the fire and the air, it makes a hexagram, like a six-pointed star, like the Star of David. Don't be mad at me about it. Be mad at Aleister Crowley and Madame Blavatsky and all these highly esteemed occultists who wrote awful, shitty literature. Be mad at them. Be mad at, the systems that brought you incorrect interpretations of elemental placements. Don't be mad at me for correcting it. Yeah, and another thing, we're going to put Aries on top because it's the beginning of the year. It's the springtime, the procession of the seasons. If you put Capricorn on the top, and I don't know, like our whole system, like you have, guys, 13 moon cycles. 13. Okay? Each moon cycle is about 28 days, okay? 13 times 28 is 364. Okay? How many days are there in a year? 365, 366 on leap years. So, a 13-month calendar that has, say, 10 28-day months and 2 29-day months, or something like that, I think would work better for everyone. But no, see, that would make too much sense. You'd have months that all the week there'd be 4 weeks in every month, and you'd have one extra bill to pay. Well, no, I mean, not necessarily. You'd have one extra bill to pay, but maybe all your bills would be less and be more predictable. Let me know in the comments if you think we should just change the calendar. Anyway, October would mean it's the 8th month, right? But yet it's the 10th month. Doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense, and I think it's on purpose. Anyway, don't look at that. It'll make you gay. The rainbow will start to make sense, right? Let's talk about fire. What is fire? You have elemental, like water. We know what water is. We know what air is. We know what earth is. But what is fire? And can it reproduce? And how does fire interact with the other elements? Like, you can use earth to put out fire, or you can burn, earth with fire, but you can put out fire with water, or you can make fire water, but air, you can put fire out with air or make fire spread. Like but fire itself is different element altogether. Like, it's energy. It's just pure energy. And I think people discount that aspect of astrology when you're talking about fire signs or fire placements in astrology and what they represent. And what it represents to have a balance between fire and air. It means you have an energy and a movement of that energy. Say, let's think of air signs as probably need to turn this off and focus on that because it is 11 and the good orders are about to come in. Hopefully I get my daily order to the zip line people in their training lunch. Zipline, aka Walmart's other drone program that wasn't the drone up. If you're ordering lunch right now, please tip. Because nobody wants to bring you lunch if you're not tipping. I hate to say that. Brass tacks. Like, value your service industry workers. Stop treating them as they're lesser than individuals. And capitalism must fail, right? It's got to fail. We're done. We've got to kill it. Turn it off. Shut it off, dude. I'm not saying replace it with communism. I'm not saying replace it with socialism. I'm just saying we've got to turn the capitalism faucet off globally. For real. We have got to stop the grotesque accumulation of wealth. But it's not just the accumulation of wealth, guys. It is how they're using that wealth to retain more wealth and compound their wealth and trap us in a system in which just will push their needles up forever in perpetuity. And that's language that more people need to understand. The words in perpetuity, they apply to more than just earth. Okay? When artists are signing contracts to license their works to be used in perpetuity, they're saying, yeah, Disney, you can take this intellectual property. What you can do with it is whatever you want to, wherever you want to. And if we eventually colonize more planets or whatever and shit like that, like this capitalist model. So the number one enemy to everyone on this planet is capitalism. And our number one enemies are people like Jeff Bezos, like Donald Trump, people like Peter Thiel, and people like Elon Musk. Anyone who has over $1 billion is an enemy. God damn it. It's amazing how Uber will just blow your shit up right when you get to the good part. Having over $1 billion in assets should be criminalized. And if you are watching this and you actually have $1 billion in because if you are watching this and you have $1 billion worth of assets and you've showed up to my shit to have me drop alpha on you, you better fucking pay me, right? Fuck you. That goes for every human being on this fucking planet who has over $1 billion worth of assets. Eat a nasty, sweaty bag of socks. You know, yeah. all the terrible things you could say to someone, it applies to you. Yeah, like $100 million is enough money for anybody to live extremely comfortably for the rest of their life. You know, unless they want to start buying, yachts and just a bunch of ridiculous shit that they don't need. $100 million is plenty. It's like shit. $10 million is plenty for most people. But if we're going to live in a world where people can have billions and multiple billions upon billions, and if maybe even trillions at some point, then uh, yeah, we've got we've got an issue, we've got a problem, and whatever war we were fighting, like the Civil War over, and whatever ideology we had that was against slavery, apparently is no longer a thing because uh, you can't. It's hard to survive out here. Several jobs, several, and that's going for everywhere. That's not the coastal areas. That's everywhere. Like it's getting harder and harder every day for most people. And if what I'm saying isn't resonating with you, then you are on the wrong fucking live stream. And you need to take out your wallet and just start handing your money away to people who actually need it. And figure out a way to delegate that wealth to people who could use it. But really, it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game kind of thing. And yeah, capitalism is the problem, guys. It's not working. It might be, it might be working for a few people, but it's not working for the rest of us. And we need to kill it, destroy it. I'm gonna get off here. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll get back on here in a little bit after lunch.